Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Parkinson's Foundation's PD Health at Home Wellness Wednesdays. We're so glad you're here. Today's Wellness Wednesday webinar is Expression with Parkinson's. We'll be offering a unique and uplifting experience that blends the timeless beauty of Shakespearean poetry with the healing power of breath, voice, and creative expression. Whether you're new to Shakespeare or simply seeking a fresh way to connect with your voice and breath, this session is designed to be welcoming, empowering, and most of all, fun. Before we get into it, I want to remind you about our other PD Health at Home virtual programs. Each week, we offer sessions tailored to support people with Parkinson's and their care partners, including Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, Fitness Fridays, Expert Briefings, and our Spanish language series, Y Salud en Casa. Be sure to visit our website to see what's coming up and explore our archive videos on YouTube. Our next Wellness Wednesday will be an expert briefing on Parkinson's medications. Medication plays a key role in managing Parkinson's disease, but it's only one part of the comprehensive care plan. By managing expectations, participants can build a more sustainable strategy for living well with PD. You can learn more about our expert briefing next week and other virtual programs by registering at parkinson.org/pdhealth. And now we jump into our program for today, Expression with Shakespeare, with writer, director, and teacher Kurt Brungart. Kurt has taught writing, theater, and fitness in the NYC public school system, prisons, and in senior centers. With a grant from the Parkinson's Foundation, he has collaborated to create a multidisciplinary neuro arts program that uses Shakespeare to slow down and reverse the symptoms of Parkinson's. He has directed and developed plays in New York City and in regional theaters. Most recently, Feel the Drop in Phoenix 2024, an immersive theater piece that explores the rise of DJ culture. Please join me in welcoming Kurt Brungart.
Thank you, guys. I'm looking at my screen here. I'm unmuted. Can everybody hear me okay? Krista, am I coming through loud and clear?
Yeah, sounds great, Kurt.
Thank you guys all for showing up for Shakespeare. And just first thought, when Krista was talking about next week's Wellness Wednesday, today it's going to be a different form of medication. It's going to be Shakespeare, the Shakespeare dose of medication today. So we're going to be thinking of our daily Shakespeare dose for medication. And I wanted to start out talking a little bit about why Shakespeare and how the program developed, and then we'll get right into it. It came in collaboration with Daniel Sklar, who was a mentor of mine when I was working for teachers and writers when I was at Columbia University in the 90s, and he had a program called Playmaking, which had kids write their own individual plays. And then he came down with Parkinson's, and also having a fitness background, I started to train him, and he one day during a session says, "I want more." And so out of my mind, kind of as a joke, I said, "Well, I'm going to turn you into the greatest athlete in the world." And he said, "Who's that?" And I said, "A Shakespearean actor." And knowing from also studying theater at NYU that Shakespearean actors' voice, movement, speech, quickness of mind, expressive emotion, I knew that training would really intuitively be so great for Parkinson's. And so we kind of developed a team of leading voice people from NYU, Juilliard, Yale. We brought in Chili Fontanesi to help us with movement. And so we had a whole movement team, which we've been doing. And today will kind of be a little bit of that around poetry. And as Krista and I have talked in our other sessions, we've said, hey, a great poem can save your life. So it's the power of art and poetry through both joy and tough times. And so that's why we chose the sonnet and Shakespeare. And so why Shakespeare? One question besides that is, our goal with Shakespeare for Parkinson's a little bit different. So often you're going to take a Shakespeare appreciation class. You may be in an advanced English literature class where you're studying Shakespeare from sort of a cultural studies or from an intellectual, very headspace. Our goal with Shakespeare was, I believe the original intention is to get it in your bodied. So an embodied Shakespeare, that's where we're taking it. And also it's not necessarily to make Shakespeare easy. In a sense, our goal is to make Shakespeare heightened and intense. And for the reason for that is you guys are in a very special place where all your time is incredibly valuable. And how you choose to invest your time in a therapeutic method, whether it be boxing or yoga or dance for Parkinson's, this is the quality moment of your life. So where you're trying to push back against all the symptoms of Parkinson's. So that is part of the reason why Shakespeare, who dealt with the whole spectrum of human emotions, who requires you to bring your full humanity to the space is, I think, a perfect person for Parkinson's. And that's the way we approach it. We approach it with kind of both fun and seriousness, that we're dealing with big issues. In this poem we're going to look at, we could look at, if we have time at the end, to talk about some of the themes around it. And also there's always a secret element behind each class. And that's what can we take away from Shakespeare and doing Shakespeare that's going to carry over in everyday life, in speech, voice, movement, thinking quick, and expressiveness. So there's a secret underlying sort of structural element that always comes in, and that's how can we take an everyday takeaways that are helpful in the challenge of Parkinson's. So on that note, we'll begin. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class structure today. I'm going to start out with just a little bit of kind of a somatic warm-up to get you into your body. Then we're going to do voice and speech warm-up. And then we're going to launch into the poem. And in the poem portion, Krista's going to work with us and kind of do call and response. So, and we'll talk about that more explicitly, how that'll work when we get there. But the first step that I want you to do is think about getting kind of into your Shakespeare body, or your artistic or your creative body. And so in a way, it's really simple. It's about attention and focus. So the first question is, which is kind of simple, complex, is where are you applying your body weight? And so if you're sitting, it might be on your sit bones. And so just put your mind there for a moment. That's the first act of mindfulness. Now you're embodied. You're feeling how you're sitting or how you're standing, how that weight is connecting to the chair. And think about that idea of how you're rooting there, right? So how you feel the sit bones, I like to call them the feet of your butt. So having that sense of being rooted. And Goethe, the famous poet, liked, his favorite metaphor is trees, because it's something that grows both down with roots, so being rooted, and rising up. So now we're just going to think of your spine, and each segment of your spine, starting in your lumbar, a little extra space, boom, boom, lengthening through your thoracic in the middle of your back as your shoulders drop back and down. More space between each vertebrae, and all the little spinal muscles that help keep you supported, release, making you a little taller too. And then the cervical, the back of the neck, each vertebrae rising. And then imagine a golden string on the crown of your head, and that's attached to a helium balloon, and that's giving you gentle traction. So you're getting that, and I could almost, it's almost floating me out of my chair, but you're going to get that gentle traction where you feel now that dynamic of rooting and rising and reaching your maximum height, those two opposing forces. And that's our vertical line. So take a moment to feel that vertical line. This is your embodied vertical line. And then just let your arms spread wide. Think about your wingspan. Careful if you're in a small room. Imagine that you might hit the wall if you're in a studio apartment in New York, because that's how big your arms are. And just now get a sense of your width. So you're getting both now a sense of your height and your width. And bring that down. And as you come down to what I'm going to call this return position, we're going to call it what Martha Graham called it, which is divine neutral. You're going to feel in this position, you're going to retain that sense of your vertical line, of your height and your width, even in this position. And now we're going to go through 3 planes of motion, which all dancers and athletes go through. We're going to go through them in a very simple way. The first thing is you're going to raise your hands, and you're just going to reach back a little bit. This isn't to extension, just gentle. Gentle, nothing very far at all, just get a sense of extension. And you're going to bring your hands down, you're going to lean forward. And then as you come back to extension, feel all those back muscles work. The hands come up. Nice stretch, long and strong. You're going to come down into a little flexion. And you're going to come back one more time up to extension. Woo! Long, strong, extending, proud chest. And you're going to bend down into flexion. You're going to feel all those back muscles take you back to divine neutral again. Ode to Martha Graham. And now we're going to work on what's called the frontal plane, which is side-to-side movement. So you're just going to reach in, little reach, nice gentle reach. And think about your weight shift. You're embodied as you reach. It's going to shift to the other sit bone. Nice. Feeling that weight shift, the pleasure of movement. Moving it side to side in that frontal plane. Feeling the weight shift on your sit bones. And then you're going to come back to divine neutral. And now we're just going to take one arm out, kind of in a dancer's position. And you're going to reach across like rotation, like you're shaking someone's hand. Nice to see you. Very nice. Pleasure. Welcome to Expressive Shakespeare. And then opening back up Yes, the coat room's to the back. You can check your bags. Bathrooms are to the right. Good. And then open wide. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome to Expressive Shakespeare. This is bad Shakespeare acting, by the way, right now when I have that voice. Welcome, welcome to Expressive Shakespeare. Pleasure to meet you. Yes, we have wine and, of course, coffee. There's always coffee at Expressive Shakespeare. And then back to the center and divine neutral. And now I want you to think, because you're sitting here in this divine neutral, imagine which all those motions in your body, they're all alive. Your ability to rise up, your spine long, your ability to go forward and backwards, move forward and backwards in motion, go side to side and rotate. All those things are living in your body. And from there, if you need a sip, I'm going to take a sip of water. You need a sip. I know that wasn't too strenuous, but always hydrate. We are going to now launch into our our voice work. And actually, Krista, if you're fine, you want to we'll do call and response here. I'll just do it and you repeat.
Sure, everyone's going to repeat with me.
Yeah, everyone will repeat with Krista when she goes. So the first thing, and the repeating will start in a second. The first thing we're going to do is just work on activating our breathing. And so I want you to imagine your breathing as a beach ball. So it's going to expand in all directions. A six-sided box is going to be up, down, up, all around. So just think of an expansive beach ball and just let the image work on your body. Image working on the body is very powerful. So you don't have to do much. Just think that as you breathe in, you're a beach ball. And the other thing, we're going to add a little gesture. You're going to have your hands come out. And that's your intercostal muscles, which open the ribs a little bit and allow the diaphragm to drop down. So it's going to look very simple. You can follow me. It's going to be a small 3D beach ball breath. Release. And then a medium-sized 3D beach ball breath. And then a big 3D beach ball breath. Big as you can, that capacity. Good. And those could be three types of thought. Three thoughts. Each one require a different breath. So we'll do one more round. A small 3D beach ball breath. Let the image work on your body. A medium 3D beach ball breath. There's always a natural pause before the need for the next breath comes in. And then a big 3D beach ball breath. Good. So now we're going to do what Kristen Linklater called a blueprint of sound. And we're going to start with a touch of sound that comes from the center of your body. And you can imagine there's like a pool right here at your sternum. And you're going to drop in a pebble, and it's going to send a ripple of sound out in all directions. And the sound is going to be, I will go, and then Krista will repeat, and you'll repeat with Krista. So the first simple touch of sound is, huh.
Huh.
Nice. And again, simple touch of sound, huh.
Huh.
Good. Krista's doing that very well, but I'm going to give my two counter examples because I can't hear you guys at home. The first one is you don't want it to be like a karate punch, so you don't want it to be, huh, right? And the second is you want to turn all that breath into vibration, so you don't want it to be, huh. I like to say you don't want to sound like Marilyn Monroe, happy birthday, Mr. President. So you want to be very much as Krista, a simple, huh.
Huh.
Good. We're going to get a little more advanced now, and we're going to do a double bounce of sound, so we're increasing the thought. Breath drops in, ha ha.
Ha ha.
It's coming out of the center of your body, that deep, intimate spot. Breath drops in, ha ha.
Ha ha.
Nice. And then we're going to get even more advanced. We're going to do a triple bounce. It has a different tempo rhythm, so let's see how that affects you. Breath drops in, ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Good. Breath drops in, ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. That's very unique. We may have to add the he before the ha ha. And now we're gonna hum. We're gonna hum from our belly button to our lips. So you can have a hand on your belly button, and I will lead. So it's gonna be breath drops in, ha hum.
Ha hum.
Good. We'll have the hand follow. Use the other hand. So you'll lead it up, ha hum.
Ha hum.
Perfect. Now we're gonna get crazy with a double-handed hum. Breath drops in, Ha hum.
Ha-hum.
Good. Now we're going to work a little bit by loosening up. We're going to do a double-handed hum again. We're going to chew it around. So I will demonstrate the chew part. So same as last time. Breath drops in. Ha hum.
Do I gotta get close to the camera?
Oh, that was for demonstration purposes only. I'm going
Okay.
to clean off my screen now.
Do it again for us, Kurt, and I'll follow.
Breath drops in. Ha hum.
Ha-hum.
It's fun to get close to the camera when you
It
hum.
is, yeah.
Who knew? Who knew that would be so much fun? Now we're going to take all those vibrations that have gathered behind the lips and we're going to release them out to the world along with the gesture. I'll lead, and breath drops down to the belly button. Ha hum ma.
Ha-hum.
Good. And don't worry how you sound. I sound bad some days, better some days. It's about the release. And let's play with a little higher pitch. Play your edge a little bit. Breath drops in. Ha hum ma.
Ha-hum.
Nice. So this is like just like voice for Parkinson's. We're getting large. We're getting large. We're large and expressive. And also we're working on range, so we're not stuck in a monotone. All right. Breath drops in. We're going to go low. Breath drops in. Ha hum ma.
Ha-hum.
Good. We're going to throw our pure vowel sounds out. So it's going to be ha hum may.
Ha-hum. Me.
Other hand. Ha hum me.
Ha-hum. Me.
Ha hum my.
Ha-hum. My.
Ha hum mo.
Ha-hum. Mo.
Now my personal favorite coming from Kansas. Ha hum moo.
Ha-hum. Moo.
Good. And now we're going to get a little like we're conducting. I like to call it a combination of Leonard Bernstein and Looney Tunes. So you're going to have two conducting batons, and we're just going to do all of the pure vowels. I'll go. So breath drops in. A-I-O. Those batons away.
A-I-O.
Good. Very good. Yeah, great. Good first read. We'll do it again for fun. Breath drops in. A-I-O.
A-I-O.
Now we're going to get a little rotation movement in with arpeggios. So it's going to go from low to high, and I'll lead. Breath drops in. Hey.
Hey.
You're going to go the other way. Breath drops in. Hey.
Hey.
And now we're going to take a big 3D breath, and I have to warn you, this is a trigger warning. This one can be a little cathartic. Could be purging. I'm not saying. It's a good opportunity for a little catharsis. And you're gonna add the text, throw it away. So with the heys. Big 3D breath. Hey, throw it away!
Hey, throw it away!
Nothing like a little catharsis. Breath drops in. Hey, other way, throw it away!
I go the other way or I say other way?
Yeah,
Okay.
throw it
Okay. Hey, throw it away!
Very good. And so now we're just going to add a little text. So imagine you're at the basement. So it's going to be low to high up to the penthouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then from the penthouse back down to the basement. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good. So now we're going to add, kind of warmed up our voice. Now we're going to work what I like to call the agility of the articulator. So it's just going to be a little speech warm up. You're going to work from front to back and back to front, meaning bilabial sounds, alveolar ridge with the tongue, and the soft palate and the back of the tongue for those sounds. So we'll start out with, and really the idea here is that, and we'll get more of this with the sonnet, speech is physical, so physical act. So really feel it. Again, don't hear it, but feel the physicality of the sounds. Ba.
Ba.
Feel those lips come together. Ba.
Ba.
Pleasure of that. And behind the D sound behind the front teeth. Da.
Da.
Good. And then the G sound. Ga.
Ga.
And we're going to get crazy now. Ba-da-ga.
Ba-da-ga.
At the front, ga-da-ba.
Ga-da-ba.
Ba-ba-ba, da-da-da, ga-ga-ga.
Ba-ba-ba, da-da-da, ga-ga-ga.
And back to front, ga-ga-ga, da-da-da, ba-ba-ba.
Ga-ga-ga, da-da-da, ba-ba-ba.
The gestures help. That's great, Krista. Yeah, it's really good. And so it's going to be a little more challenging this one. We're going to go and think of speed and precision, but if you mess up, that's fine. We're going to go back to front. I mean, front to back, back to front. So, ba-da-ga, ga-da-ba.
Ba-da-ga, ga-da-ba.
Good. And that's just your tongue twister for that one. Now we're going to do the PT and the K, which are voiceless, so they have a different quality than the voice. So it's the same place, same articulation place, but it's going to be pa-pa-pa.
Pa-pa-pa.
Quality, which is good for poetry. Ta-ta-ta.
Ta-ta-ta.
Ka-ka-ka.
Ka-ka-ka.
Pa-da-ka.
Pa-da-ka.
Ka-ta-pa.
Ka-ta-pa.
Pa-pa, ta-ta-ta, ka-ka-ka.
Pa-pa-pa, ta-ta-ta, ka-ka-ka.
Back the other way. Ka-ka-ka, ta-ta-ta, pa-pa-pa.
Ka-ka-ka, ta-ta-ta, pa-pa-pa. That's brain work.
That's one of the good things about it. There's something pleasurable, which we can talk more about another time, something pleasurable about making the sounds of your mother tongue. And we're going to go to the nasal sounds now with ma-ma-ma,
Ma-ma-ma.
na-na-na.
Na-na-na.
In the back of the throat and the tongue for ing, like ring, ing.
Ing.
Nice. Ma-ma-ma, na-na-na, ing.
Ma-ma-ma, na-na-na, ing.
Ma-na-ing,
Ma-na-ing.
ing-na-ma.
Ing-na-ma.
And then we're going to add a little text, and then we're going to map the body for sound, and we'll launch into the poem. I think we're okay time-wise, yep. So the sound ing,
Ing.
and then the word ring.
Ring.
A little Leonard Cohen here. Ring the bells that still can ring.
Ring the bells that still can ring.
I love that line because whatever bells you got, ring them. And then forget your perfect offering.
Forget your perfect offering.
There's a crack
There's a crack
in everything.
in everything.
That's how the light gets in.
That's how the light gets in.
And we'll end with a little fun Shakespeare before we go into the poem. So it's just going to be or not to be.
To be or not to be?
That is the question.
That is the question.
Whether it is nobler in the mind
Whether it is nobler in the mind
to suffer the slings and arrows
to suffer the slings and arrows
of outrageous fortune,
of outrageous fortune,
or take arms,
or take arms,
just a sea of troubles,
just a sea of troubles,
and by opposing, end them.
In them.
All right, so we're going to do a little exercise called mapping the body for sound, which is a little wild, but we're going to do it anyway. So I want you to think of your lowest chakra, which is right at your root chakra, right? And imagine you're going to be stirring a soup. So it's going to be just rotation on the chair. So it's going to be right where your sacrum is, and it's going to be the sound ooh. Today, I think I'm going to be stirring a split pea soup. So think of a nice hearty soup, and you're going to go zoo.
Zoo.
Place of survival, a survival sound, your lower chakra. Then stir the other way. Zoo.
Zoo.
Good. And then we're going to go the belly. And you're going to have a nice loose belly. You're going to shake it, and it's going to be ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
A little Shakespeare line from there in that place. You're going to speak from the belly, and it's going to be breath drops in. If music be the food of love, play on.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Good. And then the heart center, it's going to be ma. Feel that vibration. Ma.
Oh.
We're adding some vowels here, which we'll talk about. Vowels are the emotions. So you're going to do a little percussion. And it's going to be oh-yo.
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 So the vowels often hold the emotion of the word. Now we're going to, and consonants give it structure. We're going to add a couple of consonants to that. We're going to add an R and an M. So Romeo.
Romeo.
Oh, yo.
Romeo.
Romeo.
Romeo. That feels good.
Yeah. Then right up through the hard palate, the top of the roof of the mouth. This is a place of authority. The sound, ha, that
Ha,
gesture help. And we're gonna do a little
ha,
Shakespeare. Hark, who goes there?
hark. Who goes there?
You're good. You can say this is a good way to give orders to people. I want my medication.
I want my medication.
There you go. It's very practical. We've done a very practical thing now for that one.
Yeah.
And then with the nasal resonator, me.
Me.
Hold up there, my cheese.
My cheese.
Like a little Ethel Merman, my Miami.
Miami.
That good. And then we're going to go wide-eyed. So it's going to be, this is the point where your voice breaks and this place of vulnerability and excitement. So our literally wide-eyed is going to be, hey,
Hey.
hey, you want to go to the movies?
Hey, want to go to the movies?
Perfect. All right. So that kind of maps the body for sound. What I like about that is it's in your body. It's kinesthetic. So if you, this could be a character up here in the eyes, you know, it's a higher pitch as opposed to thinking, if you don't have a great ear, oh, I gotta go a higher pitch. You just go, hey, you're going to put it right up in those eyes. The lower pitch is down in your chest or your belly or the lowest resonator with your chakras. So you have these places in the body that have a different tonal and pitch quality, and you can just go there kinesthetically. So with that being said, we are going to move on to the poem. And so I think, Brianna, we'll just bring up, take a sip. Let's take a little break. Let's take a sip. We'll bring up slide 1. So what I wanted to do is play around with this poem. And we're playing around with it at this point, not necessarily for a great Shakespearean performance, but as a way to activate and push back from expression, voice, speech, all the things Parkinson's tries to tap down, right? So it's to have fun and to be as fully expressive. Those new points in the brain, we've often discovered when you're working with your imagination, it confuses Parkinson's. And so you can get to these great places of expression through Shakespeare. And so we're going to go a quatrain at a time. And I'll say briefly that a sonnet is 14 lines. It has 3 quatrains. And we won't get into the sort of academic nature of it, but each one has a rhyme scheme. That would be for another class. And then it ends with a couplet. And so we're going to work quatrain from quatrain. And I'm just going to first start out with, we're going to read the quatrain. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of context. And this is all for today. You know, when you interpret a poem or a Shakespeare piece of text, what you think one day may change the next day. But we're going to look at how usually the first quatrain of a sonnet sort of begins to express the central theme, right? What this sonnet is about. And the second quatrain explores that or takes it from a new point of view. Line 9, the third quatrain, often is called the volta, which we'll talk about when we get there. It takes a turn. So we're going to look at a theme in here, which when I looked at this, one of the things that hits me is it's basically the speaker is dejected about his status in life right now. And there's a little bit of jealousy going on, right? And so this first quatrain we could look at as woe is me, right? Feeling sorry for myself, beating myself up, which is probably a universal idea. And so he's just in that space. And that theme then gets looked at from different angles as the sonnet progresses. So we'll just say the quatrain once all the way through the first 4 lines. We'll do call and response. I'll say it, and then Krista will say it, and you'll say it with her. So we'll go a line at a time. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
Yep. So you guys will all, we can't hear you obviously, so it gets crazy if everyone's talking on Zoom, so you will just do it with Krista. Line 2, I all alone beweep my outcast state.
I all alone beweep my outcast state.
and trouble death heaven with my bootless cries,
and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries,
and look upon myself and curse my fate.
and look upon myself and curse my fate.
Good. So one thing with Shakespeare that we always want to do is line endings are really important. And we always want to drive the energy to the end of the line. And one way to kind of get a sense of a quatrain or a poem is just to say the last words of the line. So let's do that as our next entry, our next portal into this poem. So I will say the word and Krista will repeat and we'll go the 4 words. Eyes.
Eyes.
State.
State.
Cries.
Prize.
Fate.
Fate.
So we see the rhyme scheme there. And then what I want to do is I want to explore a little bit with what we're going to call keywords. And it's just choosing, we're going to know that every quatrain, a keyword is going to be at the end of the line, but choose another keyword to explore just sound. So our first way into this poem is going to be sound. So we're going to look at poetry in this poem through 3 different methods: sound, rhythm, and meaning. And meaning means the textual meaning, the meaning of the text, which is individual interpretation. And like I say, as you spend more time with any piece of text, you go deeper and your interpretation grows and evolves. Here we're looking at this right now as this woe is me, beat myself up, feeling sorry for myself, as exploring this theme. And so let's just look at the word disgrace. So we're just going to play with just the sounds. So let's go back to da-da-da. And Krista will go.
Da-da-da.
And then dis.
Dis.
And I'm gonna, and then think of that word you've been dis. So just, I almost want to spit dis.
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 Actually, dis.
Dis.
That's the first part. And then ga-ga-ga.
Ga-ga-ga.
And then the A sound, A.
A.
Grace.
Grace.
Disgrace.
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 Good. So let's take that line. We're really going to drive it to the end. We're just going to hit that one key word where we've explored that a bit. Let that live in you. And we'll hit that first line. We're driving it to the end with the word eyes. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
And you see the word and, which is a controversial word in Shakespeare. Some people think it's not important. Other people think it is. I think it's important. And I think what it is in this poem, there's a lot of ands, as you notice down here. And I think of these ands as accumulation, not just one thing. So that and is we're not going to give it the height of a keyword, but it's not just disgrace with fortune, but and men's eyes, the way he's looked upon. So it's combo. It's this accumulation of feeling sorry for yourself. Woe is me. So with that in mind, is that prompt. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
I all alone beweep my outcast state.
I all alone beweep my outcast state.
Beautiful on beweep. Let's keep playing with that. Weep.
Weep.
To weep.
Beweep.
Begins with a B and a B. Ba 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 pa pa pa.
Ba 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 pa pa pa.
Beweep.
Beweep.
Really hit that P. That's nice. Beweep.
Beweep.
And then that we'll look at the word out. Out. Let's get a little gesture there. Outcast. Let's out. Out of here. Banished. Be gone. Out.
Out. Out. Out. Be gone.
Good. Let's add a little Macbeth. Out. Out. Brief candle.
Out. Out. Brief candle.
Shakespeare, like let Shakespeare interweave and inform its other pieces. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state.
Good. That was very good, and we're going to break that down. Let's take a breath after the first line. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, breath, I all alone beweep my outcast state.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state.
Good. And then let's look at bootless.
Bootless.
Boot. I'm giving you the boot. Bootless.
Boot. Boot.
I don't even have any shoes to wear. I'm bootless.
Bootless.
My bootless cries.
Bootless cries.
Let's get a little bit on death heaven. Let's shake our hands at the gods. Death heaven.
Death heaven.
And trouble death heaven with my bootless cries.
And trouble death heaven with my bootless cries.
Good. And look upon myself. Let's curse the gods like Job and curse my fate.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
Good. So again, this is about we're playing with expression, we're having fun, and it's catharsis. So let's take this "woe is me" and we'll say all the lines together now. And don't it's the actors spend a whole rehearsal just on 8 hours just in this poem we're spending. So we can't incorporate every choice we're making. We're just exploring sound and meaning, and we're going to look at rhythm after we say it one more time. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes.
I all alone beweep my outcast state.
I all alone beweep my outcast state.
And trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries.
And trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
Good. So we're going to look at that last line, and we're going to look at it we won't get into the potential interpretation. We're going to look at it simply as an example of iambic pentameter. So iambic pentameter in the simplest form means iamb is a meter form that is unstressed and stressed. So it's actually the beat of the heart. It's ba-bum, ba-bum,
Ba-bum,
ba-bum,
ba-bum.
So Shakespeare wrote in the rhythm of the heart. And so we're going to first do this, what I'd call a little bad Shakespeare. And we're going to say this in kind of a sing-songy fashion to fill the rhythm. And look upon myself and curse my fate.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
Good. We're going to hit those stresses. That was really good, though. And look upon myself and curse my fate.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
So there's an iambic river. Now let's fill that river current that's driving us, but not play it up so much, just filled underneath, but feel its power and energy drive us to the end of the line. And look upon myself and curse my fate.
And look upon myself and curse my fate.
Good. That's very good. So you feel the power of the rhythm can have underneath that. And so we'll talk about that as we get into this next stanza. That's a time that with iambic, what made Shakespeare great was that he broke iambic pentameter all the time. Marlowe, I haven't read much Marlowe, so this is secondhand, was very strict on iambic pentameter, and that's why everyone fell asleep at his plays, because it becomes like a metronome. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. I almost fell asleep right there. But when Shakespeare breaks the rhythm, which he does often, that's what we want to become, and which we talk about in Shakespeare for Parkinson's, we want to become iambic detectives. So when he breaks the rhythm, there's a break in the heart, or there's a change of character, there's a change of meaning. And sometimes that, we'll talk about this in the last line, also when he's on iambic might mean like he's in the zone, right? Like he knows what he's saying. So all these different elements on what the rhythm says. So I'm going to get a sip of water. And we'll go to quatrain number 2. And we're going to start out by exploring the word wishing. So let's make the wa,
Wa,
sha,
sha,
wa, sha, ing,
wa, sha, ing,
wa, sha, ing.
wa, sha, ing.
Almost onomatopoeic, if you can, with it. So then we're going to add the vowel sound. Wishing,
Wishing,
wishing. Really hit that sh.
wishing.
And I'm going to pause for a second, and we'll go right back to that. So this, what I would say, context for this, for quadrant 2, the new exploration of this theme, which was woe is me, right? I'm dejected at my low status and I want what other people have. This stanza is about what I would call compare and despair. Everyone else's life is great, mine sucks, right? This is also the battle of social media, and we all get into this mode, right? So this is an amazingly powerful idea in our culture with the struggles with social media, and going back the old school term, be keeping up with the Joneses, is this idea of never always feeling we're catching up, always feeling someone has a better life. So again, all these years before, Shakespeare is dealing with something that is even greater now with social media, et cetera, especially depending on how old you are. It's a lot of stress and pressure. So let's say this stanza all the way through, the 4 lines. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
With what I most enjoy, contented least.
With what I most enjoy, contented least.
So let's look at a couple of words here. We know the last one, beweep, was to cry, but we don't use that very often. Or bootless is we would get the sense of what that means. Here, a key word that has a little bit of a different meaning is desiring this man's art. And it kind of connects to what we think now. But what art meant in Shakespeare's time, it meant something that nature didn't give you. It meant a skill or a craft that you'd been taught. And what does that mean? It means that for you to have an art means you probably had to come from a certain social economic status, because your hands had the freedom. They weren't in manual labor. You had the freedom and the time to learn to play an instrument, to learn a craft or a skill. That was an art form: piano, dance, the minuet, whatever it might be. And that's actually where the term liberal arts come from. Is liberal meant free. Your hands were free, libre, to actually study. And so it was a social economic idea too, to be able to have a liberal arts education, meaning you had to have the time and the money to do something that didn't have a practical vocational purpose, which is not true. Art has an unbelievable practical and vocational purpose. So that's the idea there. And then scope basically means power, expansive power. So when we get to that, we'll know those words. So let's go back to just hitting wishing.
Wishing.
And then let's just hit the word rich.
Rich.
And let's look at the first word. It's kind of fun sometimes. I was looking at this earlier today, which I hadn't really done. Let's say wishing, and then the last word of the line, wishing hope.
Wishing hope.
It's kind of interesting to wish for hope. I mean, it struck me like that's a powerful idea in itself. Let's say it again. Wishing hope.
Wishing hope.
Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Always driving to the last word in the sentence. And then featured.
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 And then we're gonna on the like hymns, we're gonna climb what Shakespeare called what we think of with Shakespeare acting is we're gonna climb the ladder. We're gonna make the second hymn bigger than the first. So featured like him with friends possessed.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Let's get that featured like almost a spitting. You're angry at this person. Featured like him with friends possessed. Spit on him with that F sound.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Good. And then desiring.
Desiring.
That sort of that stress accent in the middle. Desiring.
Desiring.
There's an arc to it. Desiring.
Desiring.
Desiring. There's almost like a longing. Desiring. To desire. So let's say to desire.
To desire.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
With what I most enjoy.
With what I most enjoy.
Contented least.
Contented least.
And this is what I most enjoy.
What I most enjoy.
Contented least.
Contented least.
Let's do it from the top. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Hit on him. Featured like him with friends possessed.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
With what I most enjoy, contented least.
With what I most enjoy, contented least.
So let's just take this one more time and let's look at lines 6 and 7. And let's think of when we're going like him, this sort of this anger, this spitting, and then a softness with this sort of soft desire to have art and some sort of power over my choices, with desiring this man's art and that man's scope. So let's look at antithesis between those two lines to add some variety to this stanza. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
Let him have it. Featured like him with friends possessed.
Featured like him with friends possessed.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
Desiring this man's art and that man's scope.
And a little bit rock bottom. With what I most enjoy, contented least.
With what I most enjoy, contented least.
So we had time, we'd go back and work on this and turn it into a little tantrum. Add some slashes and then bring
Sounds like fun.
So let's go to the second slide. So this is the third quatrain. And this in classic sonnet structure by Shakespeare, this is called the volta. And it happens between line 8 and 9 as we go into this third quatrain. And volta is actually, it means the same thing in Latin and Italian, which means a turn. And so there's a turn of thought. There's a change. I always, for years, until I looked up the derivation, I thought it meant like a lightning bolt, which I kind of like better, like a volt, like something like voltage, like boom, you had a lightning strike and you had a different thought. And so we see a lot of the sonnets are arguments, they're persuasion, they're thinking your way through a problem. And so that's in this transition here with yet. I mean, that's very much a rhetorical phrase, yet, right? So let's just say this stands all the way through once. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Haply I think on thee and then my state.
Haply I think on thee and then my state.
Like to the lark at break of day arising from soul and earth.
Like to the lark at break of day arising from soul and earth.
Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Good. So let's just give a little, which is already there. We won't replace sonically with the word, but we're just going to hit yet when we get there. So realize we're going to give some emphasis to that. And obviously despising our end word. So let's go into despising.
Despising.
Good. Again, the kind of, first there was, the word was desiring, right? And now we have despising, similar, but despising.
Despising.
Yeah. And the word that I want to sort of emphasize here, and this again is an interpretation that, is just individual interpretation, is the word almost. So that almost to the edge, right? Almost to the edge. So we're going to give that a little, let's just go almost, almost.
Almost, almost.
Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Haply I think on thee.
Haply I think on thee.
Good. Unless happily is in Shakespeare's time in Renaissance English it doesn't really mean happily, like happy. That's an element of it, but it means fortunately. So again, that kind of plays earlier in the stanza with fortune, right? And you can interpret this as this chance, right? Like happily, fortunately, at this moment, which we've probably all had something when you weren't feeling well and things turned your way, or a friend called, or something fortunately helped pull you out of a rock bottom situation you were in. And so let's just, in line 10, let's just work on the word thee, looking up thee, see the beloved, thee. Haply I think on thee and then my state.
Haply I think on thee and then my state.
Good. We'll take those first two lines again. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising.
Haply I think on thee and then my state.
Haply I think on thee and then my state.
And then these has parentheses, which often parentheses in Shakespeare are an aside where there's an action or something. So we'll play with a little action here. And that type of lark was an English lark that, from what my understanding is, that at the break of day, it flew straight up, amazing, like just explodes up in the air. So we're just going to put our hands up with it. So we're going to get a little body, hands up like the lark. So like to the lark at break of day arising.
Like to the lark at break of day arising.
Then we'll let them fall down from soul and earth.
From soul and earth.
Back up. Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Nice with hymns. And you guys all along, and that was very good, Krista, the way you hit the M there, right? So this is the physicality of the language and making it come alive as a physical action. And that really rung when you said hymns. So just like we went ma, 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 na, na, na. When we work the Shakespeare, we're always working all those sounds and committing to the physicality of the sound. So let's take it again with that gesture. Like to the lark at break of day arising.
Like to the lark at break of day arising.
Go down from soul and earth.
From soul and earth.
Back up and out. Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Sings hymns at heaven's gate.
Good. And let's move to our couplet. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
I said health. Isn't that funny? I think I said health. That's
Health.
what we're about. It's Wellness Wednesday. We changed the word from wealth to health. Everybody was changing Shakespeare. That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
So this last line is an example of what I said. Sometimes he's in the zone with iambic pentameter. So you could think of the greatest athlete in the world. Now everything, all his doubt, all his woe is me, all his compare and despair is gone. He has been saved by love, by the beloved, by friendship, by family, by love, and now all of this doesn't matter. This love, this friendship, this camaraderie, this community is more important than wealth, and even more important than status, being a king. So let's do some bad Shakespeare with that last line. That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
We'll do it again, some nice chanting iambic pentameter, because it's so much fun on this line. That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Now we're going to feel that current underneath. That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Good. So we'll hit that couplet. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Good. We're going to let it fly out on kings one more time. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
That then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Good. All right, you guys. I think we're about at 1:56, so I think it's okay to keep it broken down and not have to go instead of doing the whole thing. Or what do you think, Chris? Do you want to do the whole thing, or do we want to have a little time to talk?
Let's read it through once. Kurt, why don't you read it and we'll read with you. How's that feel?
So I'll go and then you guys will all go. We'll go line by line like we've been doing. Is that what you were saying?
No, just read it all the way through and we'll read it together and you won't hear from me.
Okay, so we'll read simultaneously.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go back to slide 1. Take a sip, you guys. And again, the last thing is, there's a famous line by T.S. Eliot. He said, the secret is in the caring and the not caring. The caring is in the preparation and the not caring is in the letting go. So we're not going to remember everything we did. It's just to feel the poem in the body now and have fun with it. So I will begin. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I, all alone, beweep my outcast state, and trouble death heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him, with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Slide 2. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such health brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. All right, you guys, I couldn't hear you, which I would love to, but good work on this hour with the sonnet and voice and speech warm-up. So, and I hope, I think that you might find yourself quoting some Shakespeare on the street, which is always good. And appreciate you taking the time. So any last thoughts, Krista?
No, Kurt, would love to hear how we can stay connected with you and where we can continue working with you through expressing with Shakespeare.
We could go to the email, I think that's on the page, and then yeah, if there's interest, we can do other sessions, and we can talk about how, I know Krista, you and I have talked about this, about how to bring sort of embodied art into the Parkinson's Foundation world.
Kurt, that was so much fun, and I reading the chat. Thank you all for joining. This is affirming, that our community wants more programs like this and how beneficial it is to play and have fun. And I saw the smilings across the board as we were doing this together. So Kurt, thank you for inviting us into this sense of play and fun and being able to express ourselves through this beautiful work of Shakespeare. So really, really thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for your work today, Krista. It was fun to have you there, so thank you.
That was really fun. I'm gonna certainly be sharing this more on the social media. So my friends, if there are people that you would love to share this kind of work with, please let the foundation know. Our email's at pdhealth@parkinson.org, and this just lets my boss know that this is needed and we can do this more with each other. So please spread the word. Thank you, Kurt, for offering your knowledge and time for today's Wellness Wednesday webinar. And a big thank you to each of you who joined us today. And before you go, I'd like to share some resources and opportunities with you. If you have a question or would like to get connected with resources in your area, if you're processing this webinar or have some questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the Parkinson's Foundation. Visit our website at parkinson.org. Call our helpline, it's there on the screen, or email us at helpline@parkinson.org. We are ready to support you every step of the way. And as always, thank you so much for joining us. Kurt, for guiding us, for the way that you support us living with Parkinson's and impacted by Parkinson's through the medicine of expression. Really appreciate and honor the way that you create community through creative arts. If you have any questions or need additional support, don't hesitate to reach out. And take care, my friends, and I'll see you again soon. May you be well and continue expressing.